Welcome back to Unlocking Our Code podcast. In this episode, we are opening up a conversation about the angelic realm and the quiet ways they guide us and support us in our journey here on earth. This episode is with the intention that you remember that you are not alone. Hi, Lou.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I feel that this episode is definitely going to be I don't know, kind of give us. I'm hoping that the angelic realm is with us for this episode. In other words,
oh, they are. They know.
I know. So I'm kind of excited to share what I guess the point of view of how when people hear the angelic realm, what they envision and what it really is, So it's good to share that.
Mm-hmm. And how we have connected with them in the ways that we've done that, and maybe that could spark up curiosity in someone else, right?
Yeah,
to start connecting to the angelic realm.
Yeah, I think when I mention it, I kind of do see people are like, what are you talking about? Like when you talk about angels, you imagine like a blonde man with big wings and a white robe or something like that. What do you think about?
Yeah.
Like, what it is, but it's like, but I feel like it's so many other, like, so much more than that. You know what I mean? That's kind of like a symbolic, I guess, if you need to put it into a picture or something, but more of a cultural symbolic thing, right? But there's so much more than that. So kind of excited to get into this one.
Yeah, I feel like our mind can't even begin to really comprehend the vast of it all. I think we just kind of try to put titles on things, and then so our mind can kind of comprehend the aspect of it. But I think definitely is much bigger than that, bigger than we can ever even imagine right now in this moment. I feel it like that. I feel like I can only understand a certain percentage, but I'm sure that is much bigger than what I can perceive, Yep. I did look up a definition of the angelic realm, and the angelic realm refers to a higher vibrational dimension of consciousness where beings of divine light, often called angels, exist. These beings are not bound by the physical world, meaning they don't have a physical body. They are messengers, protectors, and guides who support us on a soul level, often without needing recognition or praise. The angelic realm is not tied to one religion or belief system. It transcends form. Many people experience it through intuition, signs, synchronicity, or an unexplainable sense of peace or presence in moments of need. It's less about seeing with your eyes and more about feeling with your spirit.
I agree. I think it's one of those things where it's more like an energetic frequency, something that you can probably, not see but feel, like you said, synchronicities and times where, for example, always looking at the time and always seeing like 11:11 or seeing the numbers, the 555s or the 444s, like things like that, especially in times where you are asking for guidance, where you're asking, I'll speak for myself, where I'm asking, like, give me a sign that I'm that I feel that I'm, like, when I'm lost, to show me that I'm not lost, that I'm not alone. And I'll see these different synchronicities or in numbers. I see it in numbers often, most of the time, every day. And it's definitely a time for me to pause and say, like, I literally pause my brain, everything, I stops, and I'm like, thank you. Like, you're telling me I'm exactly where I need to be. And it's like a reassurance, Other people might see it like as in, while you're going crazy looking for a parking spot, and you just say like, oh, please, get me a good one. And then boom, just happens right there. You're just like, oh, thank you so much. Like little things like that, when you are aligned, when you're just in that vibe, it just happens. But we have to be like, we have to be very self-aware of that, and not just be like, oh, it's a coincidence, you know, where people can feel that, oh, that's just a coincidence, you know.
Yeah, because I feel like they definitely use their own ways of communicating with us. Obviously, they don't have a physical body. Mm-hmm. They're like a form of energy. I see it as. I mean, you could paint your own picture in your mind of how you wish to see it, but I think that's like a human thing, just so that we can have an image that makes us feel safe when we speak about the angelic realm. But definitely, I feel like when I think of the angelic realm, it just, even thinking of it, right, it just brings so much peace, and it supports me in so many ways that it's just a topic that I love, like, talking about. I love talking about the angelic realm, what they've done to me, how they help me, how they continue to support me. How do you feel like you began connecting with them, like in your own journey?
Well, definitely for me, I think it was something that was, I was not at all connected to anything spiritually for a long time. For a long time, I just, even God, at some point, I was even questioning even his existence, you know, or just a greater power. I just wasn't, there's just, for a moment, it wasn't. And then I started really going into and practicing the power of gratitude and just being grateful. And I started praying, and I remember even sometimes when I was praying, I still felt a bit like skeptical. But I just realized how much prayer was helping me just settle my brain, like settle my heart. I felt like comforted. I can't explain it, you know. And then definitely through it all, learning about the angelic realm, and even that to me was a bit, again, back to skeptical, because I was completely, you know, felt like I had lost all my faith in it. And so even that was kind of like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. But just practicing it, definitely having conversations with you and you mentioning it and me saying like, okay, I'm going to try it, and I'm just going to be open to it. I'm going to open my heart to it, and then just ask, you know, for guidance whenever I need guidance. And I started doing a lot of that often. I mean, I do it now all the time, and I could feel it. Like I feel when I'm asking for, when I feel that I'm in my own head and I'm spinning, or I'm like going down a rabbit hole for whatever reason is affecting me, right? Anything that can be affecting me. And that's one of the things that I start doing now. And it's kind of like become like a daily practice. Not only am I asking them for guidance, or I'm asking for a sign, but I'm also being extremely grateful for, you know, holding me, for keeping me together, for giving me the signs that I need. You know, sometimes when I'm really, really lost, I just have to step back and just ask, like, help me, show me a sign. Like, I need to know. I feel lost. I feel like I'm always on a path that I'm supposed to be. I understand that. It's like a very deep understanding that you have to understand. You're on the path where you're supposed to be. But I believe, like, as humans, we feel like we kind of are like, am I doing the right thing? Like, should I be doing this? Like, is this what I should be doing? Or I'm lost. I don't know what to do. Should I do A or should I do B? Like, I don't know, you know, and then just being able to say, you know, give me a sign, show me that I'm where I'm supposed to be. Or sometimes, like, I've learned a lot recently from our conversations, is where like cutting cords to like things that are still attached to me, that I'm still carrying, that feel very heavy. And I've started to ask, you know, my angels to just release, to cut those cords and let me release all that stuff that I'm still holding on to, whether it's resentment, whether it's pain, hurt, anger, whatever, you know. I'm just asking to be able to help me cut through this stuff. And I kid you not, I always feel like cleanse of everything right after. It's like they're right there with me, just saying, just ask me. Just ask what you need us to do. Just tell us what you need and we will do it for you. And I can't even, I don't know, like I said, I can't describe it, but the feeling of just being like, I'm not alone. My signs are everywhere. Every single day I get signs, all these little, again, synchronicities, all these numbers, all these just things that just pop up daily, and you're just like, oh, thank you. Like, I know you're here with me. I know that's the way you're connecting with me, you know? That's really what it was. It was like just through learning, through having self-awareness, being open again, and understanding that we're not here alone. Like, it's just not us humans, and there's nothing above us, right? Mm-hmm. And just believing in all of that again, having faith all over again, being open-minded, and it's beautiful. I mean, what more can we, and everybody can do it. And it's just not specific people. It's everybody can do it.
Everyone has access to connecting to the angelic realm, right? It's said that we all are born with assigned personal angels and archangels. Those are the angels that are specifically assigned to us, right? That's one part. We don't come into earth alone, ever. There's not one single person that comes in alone. However, even after us having our own personal angels or archangels that are always with us in our own unique journey, there's also access to other angels, right? For example, some of the angels that I work with myself and I invoke a lot is Archangel Michael. I see Archangel Michael as like my fierce protector. I feel very safe connecting to his energy. He's been one of the archangels that I have since the beginning invoked. Him and Archangel Metatron, those were my two first archangels that I worked with on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Archangel Michael, especially if you are, let's say you're walking on the street and you all of a sudden start feeling eerie or scared, just the fact that you think of him, you don't even have to ask. You basically, it's in your mind. You haven't even like processed. Mm-hmm. He's already there, and you can feel immediately his safe energy when he comes around and just embraces you. You can ask him to protect you. You could tell him, I'm scared in this moment. Can you please clear the energy that's around me? Keep me safe, or whatever the situation is, right? I also invoke Archangel Michael to cut the cords. He is known as the archangel that cuts cords. I mean, other archangels can support, but for me, he's the one that I invoke and I've always worked with when it comes to cutting cords with people that, I don't know, like from the past, or people that I'm feeling heavy with, or situations or places. I will call him in to cut the cords. I usually visualize him cutting it with his sword, or with anything that my mind helps me clear the energy with. Mm-hmm. Also, like if I visit places, like let's say I go stay in a hotel and I start feeling like unsettled because of the sometimes hotels, especially some of the ones where there's a lot of energy, is usually in Vegas. For me, some reason I'm more sensitive to the energy when I'm out there. So I will call the angels to cleanse ahead of time. As I'm driving there or flying there, I will call them ahead of time. I will say, this is the hotel I'm staying. Can you please begin cleansing the energy? Help me choose a room where I feel safe, me and my family, and cleanse the energy of the place. And they immediately just start doing what you ask them to do, right? It's all about asking, and so that we can receive whatever we are needing, because they're always there. They don't judge. They don't have emotions like us humans do, or criticize anything about you. Nothing. They're not a human, right? So they are very neutral to everything. Their main energy is just unconditional love and support through anything that you're going through. And that's how they have served me, like as far as not feeling alone, and like just on a daily, on a daily basis.
Yeah. See how beautiful that is? That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know.
Just the fact that we don't feel alone, right?
Exactly.
Like I felt, for me, that was a big one too. Just at the beginning of my journey, healing journey, I felt very confused and alone. And when I started connecting with them, I started feeling held, like, okay, I'm not alone. I'm physically, it seems like it, right? But energetically, I'm not alone. They're there. And like you said, they will communicate with you in just subtle ways. And if you're present enough, if you're paying attention, and if you're open to their whispers. Yeah. And you could just ask. You can ask, angels, if you're with me, show me a sign, and then be open to it. And you will see whether it's a song, a time in the or a bird. I don't know, just being open to how they communicate with you, because they will communicate with you in the best way possible that it is for you in that moment.
Yeah, you have to be open to those. Look for those signs. Those are like, again, sometimes we miss it and we'll say like, oh, what a coincidence, you know? But it's like, no, it's much more than a coincidence. You know, they're trying to communicate. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to tell you, hey, we're here. We're listening. We're listening to what you're saying, to what you're asking for. And that's kind of how I felt. And even though my, you know, at the beginning, I was like, what? I don't know. It felt weird. But like, how did you like first like learn and take that, to embrace that? How did that come about with you?
I would say that.
Or would you say that you'd, because, you know, I mean, based like on our beliefs or religion, right? I mean, you hear, you know, Los Angeles or the angels and stuff like that. You hear it kind of in some religions here and there, not as often, right? Normally it's like God or Jesus Christ or the Virgin Mary, and that's about really it. So how did you learn about them, and where do people, I guess it's two questions. How did you learn about them, and then where do you place them when it comes to your religion, or anyone who's in the religion like base, like I guess, you know, I don't know, just is it anything that has to do, would you say it has nothing to do with religion, or somebody that's in a religion, how would they see that, I guess?
I feel that well, for me, as a kid, I would have dreams where I remember having a dream where an angel came, and it was pretty vivid, and I never forgot it. I must have been like 9 or 10. And ever since that dream, I just kind of held on to that belief that they do exist. But obviously, I wasn't aware about them. I didn't talk much about them, other than obviously, you know, growing up, like our culture, they were big on angels, like mentioning them. You know, me growing up, my parents, family members will always mention things like, oh, you know, pray to the angels, or, you know, there was some type of talk in that way. So I was never afraid of it. But there's one thing of like growing up, knowing that they're quote unquote good, or like that they're part of your religion. And then there is another part, right? Because in my upbringing, I grew up like going to Catholic church, for example, right? And now there was one way I experienced them there in a religion way. And then when I stepped out of like believing in religion or being a part of any religion, then there was a whole nother way of connecting with them, right? When I was looking at them from a perspective of religion, I thought I had to be worthy to be connected to them, because at least that's what was taught. And when I stepped out of religion, it was like an awakening to like, no, you always have access to them. You don't just have to be in church to connect with them. I can connect with them all day, anywhere I'm at, driving, cooking, wherever I'm at. They're with me all the time, and I can always connect with them, and I'm worthy of connecting with them, and they want to connect with me, right? So I guess those were the two like differences. for me. Like, and now I've just developed it was more about developing a muscle, like for me to communicate with them, right? It was more of like continuing to do it on a daily basis and practicing so that those old beliefs didn't kick in of like, you're not safe, or what are you doing? What if it's scary? All these little things that would come up. And now it's just a natural thing. Now it's like, I'm connected to them like if they were a friend that sat next to me. That's how it's kind of been for me.
Yeah, see, and I think that's one of the things that maybe that I struggled with at the beginning, because I didn't grow up with people talking to me about angels. Or at least I can't even remember that, And so, I mean, obviously I've heard of them, right? But it wasn't something that was like, oh, it was always like, you only pray to one person, and that's either God or Jesus Christ. Depends what religion I was in at the time. And so then, and then when I just stepped out of religion and I was just like, I want, nothing to do with religion. I feel that that's when I had my faith was lost, because I felt like I couldn't, how can I believe in a higher power if I didn't have a religion? You know what I mean? I felt that way. Like, there's no way that I can pray to God or believe in God if I don't want to follow a religion. I don't want to follow a religion, right? And so I think that's where my misunderstanding came in. And so then, and then like learning that I can have a relationship, that I can have faith, that I am a person of faith, and I want to and I want to be a person of faith, and I want to have a relationship with God, and I want to be able to talk to Him. But then I started battling the wait a minute, so who am I praying to? God or to the angels or to the universe? Who am I talking to then? Like, where does everybody fall into place? So then I started realizing, like, I feel like I am free to, I don't have to be bounded to one thing. You know what I mean? There's no such thing. It's just, there's a higher power. We're not alone here. And that was, again, like you said, it's like a practice. It was a muscle that I had to train, because it was so outside so it was so outside of my regular everyday thing and what I was used to. And so, anywho, this has been probably one of the things that I'm the most that I can say that I like, I'm not only proud, but I'm so connected to, that I feel like I can, when I'm feeling uneasy, when I'm feeling heavy, when I'm feeling lost, confused, when my anxiety is kicking in and I cannot stop my brain from like spiraling, I just ask, I stop and I say, please just calm my brain, like center me, take these thoughts away. Like, I don't want to feel this way anymore. And give me a sign. And it could be, and it's anything or everything. And it just literally like makes me feel like puts a smile on my face, and I'm like, thank you. Like, I know you got me, I see it. And it stops everything. Like, everything stops for me, And and that's something that, man, if people can see that, I think for me, it's, or maybe because of the way I was raised, or the things that I had to go through in order to get to where I'm at. I feel that for listeners that are listening, if you're listening to this and saying like in the angelic realm, like, what is that? Or finding hard to connect or to relate, or to believe. I don't know what. It's like one of those things where I felt like that's kind of where I was, Yeah. Like, and I don't know how to start practicing. I would say probably just start talking to them. Like, be open-minded, have an open heart. Look for those communications that they're giving you, and it's not just a coincidence. They're really speaking to you. And ask for what it is that you need. But then at the same time, like, for me, I'm always grateful. I'm always thanking them for being there, for giving me that assurance. And like you said, they're just there. They're just waiting for you to acknowledge and be like, I'm right here, just whenever you're ready.
Yeah, and they love that. They love that. They love when we connect with them. They love that we are asking them to support us. I mean, the angelic realm can support us in every possible way, whether it's protecting yourself, cleansing energy, cutting cords, supporting you in any way. Let's say that you're having a difficulty with a family member or with a job, right? And you're having the most difficult time. You can invoke the angelic realm before your day is going to start and say, angelic realm, tomorrow my schedule is going to be really busy. Please support me. Send angels ahead of time to these places so that they can help me, so that my day can be with more ease and grace, so that I don't face situations that I don't have to. Remove any blockages, remove any people that are in my way that can make my day harder. But you invoking them and asking and believing and trusting that they will support you in so many ways, right? Or if you're having a difficult day, like you said, you're having a difficult day and like your energy is like spiraling, one of the things that I do is like you said, I'll sit down, I'll invoke them, I'll ask them to cleanse my energy, to remove anything attached in my energy field that does not support me. Right? And immediately, you can immediately feel the release. You can immediately feel lighter. You feel better. It's an immediate thing that happens. You can also meditate with them, right? With certain angels, or just simply YouTube meditations with the archangel realm and see what you get guided to. That's another way that I connect with them in meditation, prayer, or I'll just have conversations with them, journaling. I mean, there's so many ways that you can do that. And there's so many different angels that you can work with. Some of the, like Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, Archangel Raphael is another archangel that I work with. And he is like in the emotional side. Like, let's say you're heartbroken or you are having a difficult time emotionally, he is the archangel that you can invoke for something emotional or healing of your heart. He works in that area, right? Another archangel is Archangel Sandalphon, Archangel Shamuel, Archangel Samuel. There's just so many different angels that you can invoke. Archangel Ariel, she is usually for abundance, supporting you and bringing abundance to your life, removing blockages that are in your way. There's just learning about them, right? Whether you get a book that teaches you what each archangel supports you in. There's also waves of angels, right? You can also invoke the angels of clarity. So there's a group of angels that support us with clarity. Angels of love, angels of peace. You could just invoke them like that, right? So there's just so many different ways, so many resources for us to seek for support that doesn't necessarily have to be a physical support. It could be energetic support, like the angelic realm.
Yeah, that's so cool. It's so cool if people take the time to see that, especially if you're in a moment of like despair, if you're going through tough times, depression, if you feel that you can't shake whatever it is that you're feeling. Another thing I started doing also is like asking to like, another thing was also to ask for even like my husband or the kids, to protect our home, to protect them. Like if he's having a rough day or a bad day, to help cleanse his space, his head, his mind, his body, and and cut any cords also that he might be carrying and it's dragging him down and stuff like that. So I'm also asking for that. Even if he's not if he's not so much into that and that's not his thing, and it's just like, again, like the beginning where he's kind of like skeptical, like, okay, I'm still doing it for him. And so I feel like things like that, things like that are helpful because I see more peace in him than the chaos that would ensue when he wasn't feeling like his best, when he was going through like a hard times at work or whatever the case might be. And I feel him more at peace. And I never leave him out of like the prayers. I'm like, hey, if you're not there yet for yourself, then I'll do it for you. You
Yeah,
know?
that's beautiful. It's so beautiful that you do that. I've done that myself, and always for family members or people that I know that are struggling, I'll invoke the angels ahead of time. I'll call them in to support them. And it's even in a relationship, like what you said, right? I cannot count how many times I've asked for support relationship wise, protecting my husband. I've also have taught him that they exist, and now he invokes them. Now he talks to them as well. So it's like you never know like how one thing can lead to another. Another thing that I also do is like whenever I have sessions with people, like private sessions where I'm guiding them, I always, the angelic realm is it's a source that I use every single time I am coaching anyone, because they support us, I mean, in the highest way possible. They'll show clarity, they'll bring in, you know, any truth that is ready to be looked at. I mean, it's just the amount of support is just amazing. You can also ask for guidance for yourself if you're looking for clarity or for truth, for something that you can't see clear in this time. You can ask for that clarity and they will show it to you. Yeah, but it doesn't mean that it's always going to be what you want to see, right?
Exactly.
They're just going to show you what you're asking for. So also being mindful of that, right? Also, we can invoke them to protect our children. That's another thing that I do a lot too. Like I'll assign angels to them in the night. Sometimes I'll pray and I'll say, Archangel Michael, please protect my son, guide him through whatever he's dealing with, or my daughters, or I'll send angels to protect my granddaughter, to protect their home, to cleanse their home. Even cleansing your own homes, right? If you're someone that cleanses your home with sage or Palo Santo, you invoke them as you're cleaning. That's something I do as I'm cleansing the energy of my home. I'll call them in and I'll ask them to support me in cleansing the energy of the home too.
Yeah.
So that's something that you can definitely like do as well.
That they can be super helpful in. Yeah. Yep, for sure. That my space where I see my clients. I love my clients and I love how they, you know, they can come in and they just release everything. Like I said, sometimes the moment they sit there, it's just like everything. I'm just like, okay, you know, I'm thankful for their trust and that they can confide in me, and, you know, whatever happens in there stays in there. But sometimes when they leave, it feels heavy, you know, like I feel like someone unleashing all their, like the stuff that they're going through, and, you know, just like
heavy stuff.
Releasing all that heaviness. It stays there, you know, it stays there, and it's very easy for me to carry that. And then it's mine, you know, and then I'm carrying it. So I've learned along the lines too, that I can actually, you know, that's another thing that I do, that I ask them to cleanse my space, that I ask them to cut anything that's not with me, or protect my space before somebody comes in or after the day's done. And because my space isn't in my home, so I'm always asking for my home to be protected as well from just anything negatives coming and staying there, you know. So things like that. But it's not only just talking about it, it's and doing, but it just, I guess what I'm trying to say is the energy that you feel after is just so different. It's a different shift. It shifts, everything changes, and it's real, and it it's real. And so I wouldn't be able to say enough, like, if you haven't done it, or if you do practice that, you know, there's no bad, there's no harm that comes from it. It just, I feel like I've always mentioned before, if what you're asking for is, there's like an ill intention behind it, or there's like too much ego, whatever you're asking for, it's like your ego is asking for it, or there's just something that doesn't come from a good place, it doesn't come from a place of love, it's not going to, I don't feel like you're gonna get there. Like you said, they're gonna show you what needs to be shown. They're gonna give you what is in your path, in part of what's going to happen, right? They're not going to show you something or give you something that you want. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. And that's just what it is, you know? And so that's the part of it that, you know, you have to be very open-minded and not ask for anything that comes from a place of like shadow, or a place from like of dark, or do you know what I mean? It has to come from a place of love, like has to come from, that's one thing that I do think that everyone needs to be very aware of. It's not like it's not a genie in a bottle.
I thought of the same thing when you were about to say that.
Yeah, it's not a genie in a bottle. You know, you don't get to rub it and then ask for 3 wishes and boom. No, it's like if it's yours, if it's for you, it's gonna be for you, right? But if it's not, it's not, and we just have to be like very, obviously, right? Very aware of that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think for me, it's definitely helped me in some of my roughest moments till this day. I still practice that, and I'm still very much, I feel like very much in tune, super grateful, definitely. But yeah, that's how I, it's one of the best things that I've been able to learn and take from, and take with me and keep with me. And then just, very thankful to know that they're here, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I think that, you know, anyone that comes in contact with this information is just a sign, even, right? The fact that you stayed here to listen to this episode, like to connect with your angels, that they're there, that you're not, this is just a reminder that you're not alone. You can never be alone, even if you asked. That's not possible, right? Your angels are always with you, and they're eager to support you and guide you in this journey. We were never meant to do this alone. Being here on earth is not an easy task. It isn't an easy task at all for anyone that's on earth at this time. So we're not meant to do it alone. It's why we have so many resources like the angelic realm, and there's more, right? Today we're talking about the angelic realm, but there is more than angels that are there to support you. But just know that you are just a question away, right? Like it doesn't even have to be out loud. It could be in your mind that you start having these conversations with the angelic realm, and then you just begin developing a relationship, and then one day it's something you do. It's something that's normal, like part of your day in a way, right?
And you just start talking. That's what I do. I just have conversations, you know.
Another thing I do with the angelic realm is when someone passes, and I feel like, let's say someone shares the story that someone passed away and it feels like really heavy. What you can do is invoke angels to support that person to cross over, as they're crossing over from a spiritual body, you know, to a non-physical realm.
Yeah.
That's something that you can also support if you're feeling heavy about someone's passing, is just asking the angelic realm to support the person that just left their body as they're crossing over. That's another way to support.
That's true
as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that this information is good. We do have an angelic guide oracle here. So what if we pick a card for our audience and see what message they get?
Yeah, we should.
All right. You want to pick it? And then I'll read it. I'll read the meaning. So we're going to pick a card from the Angel Guide Oracle, and we're going to read the meaning to this card. Okay, pick a card. So we got compassion. Compassion. Is there a number to that card? Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
I found it.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got compassion. This is the message to our listeners from the angelic realm at this time. Your angels are wrapping a light of compassion around you at this time and guiding you to let go of conflict or the need to prove your point. The more you resist and fight, the unhappier and more drained you will be. Pointing out mistakes or mishaps or concentrating on the negative traits or actions of others will only hold you back. Don't let the unjust actions of others block your experience of joy and freedom. Take time to review where in your life you may be feeling held back or even consumed by frustration and anger. And ask your angels to shine their light upon you and the situation. And the extended message is changing how you see yourself will help change how others see you. Angels are surrounding you at this time and encouraging you to see yourself through their loving and holy eyes. All of the ups and downs you have faced, all of the insecurities you have overcome, and all of the setbacks you have moved beyond are a testament to your resilience and strength. So have compassion and respect for yourself. Angel wisdom is encouraging you to love and treat yourself the way you would love to be loved and treated by others. Then your own actions will be mirrored back to you by those around you. So ask your angel guide to help you be more compassionate towards yourself now.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Hopefully that reaches someone.
Yes, that was beautiful. Compassion for yourself, first and foremost.
Yeah, beautiful message. Yeah, definitely. So yes, with this message, we hope this helps someone out there and that you begin your journey. This is an invitation to begin your journey of connecting with your angels and share any feedback or anything that comes up for you if you do start connecting with your angels. We would love to definitely hear.
Yeah, share your stories. Let us know what you have, what you're finding, what the signs are. It'd be nice to hear.
Yeah, for sure. And as always, you know where to find us at Unlocking Our Code Podcast. And we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.